morning from here. Hi, who's all here? Hi, Diane. Hi, Hannah. Nice to see you both. Sorry, a little windy. If the wind is a problem, I will take the headphones out. But it's just walking into the wind a little bit. So I'm here on Otter Street. Nice to see you. Hopefully you can hear me well, everyone. I am back in the the horizontal. I figured out how to adjust it. The button changed, at least on my setup, so for the orientation. But I am walking to the Banff Springs Hotel, and I am walking there because I'm meeting a tour group. As you know, I've been touring pretty much every day right now. And but this is a big bus. Hi, this is a big bus, so I am taking them into Calgary. So I'm going to do Canmore and the history, and then do a Calgary City tour. And then I'm going to get a shuttle. Hey, Harriet. Hi there, my friend. So then I'll get a shuttle back. So I won't get home till about 8:30 tonight. So it is just gone 11:45 in the afternoon. And there's Otter Street. I'm just turning on to Wolf. And I just thought this would be kind of fun to take you down there. Oh, good morning, Adriana. Nice to see you here. Lovely to have everyone along. I do want to give a quick shout out to my friend Harriet from Uganda here, because Harriet is an outstanding guide and has become a personal friend, and also is the one who helped me set all this YouTube stuff up. Hi, Marilyn. So hi to everyone. I'm just going to switch around here. So I am in Banff here, of course, ladies and gentlemen. This is my home. I went out biking this morning. So yes, I saw a point. It sort of looks hazy, but not terribly. So I went out riding this morning. A little sparrow. I went out riding this morning because you can see the blue up there is actually pretty clear. Now, obviously, there's forest fires all over the place. Let me come back to that. I just wanted to share this house with you here. This house is over 100 years old, and it came from Bankhead, which was one of the 5 communities first established in this valley. And Bankhead was coal mining. But this is a Cape-style house with a sealed-in veranda, so it actually has a strong memory of Loyalist architecture. And there's very little of that in the West, because when these kind of houses were built, and if they tried to build them out in the Great Plains, out in the prairies, can you imagine how dry we are here? And it's suddenly minus 30 or minus 40, the wind blowing through it. So that's why you had to shrink your houses down to be the rancher style. This is a tamarack tree here. Hey, Emily. This is a tamarack tree. It's the one pine that changes color, the mountain larch. And I'm going to go up and over the pedestrian bridge. So I thought this would be kind of just a fun trip to do with everyone, because I'm literally walking to the Banff Springs Hotel. Now, it is about 20 degrees Celsius, which is about, I think that's 75 or 76 Fahrenheit, so nice temperature. Lovely Engelmann spruce in front of us. So yes, a few things to talk about. First of all, as always, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm on Treaty 7 territory, so the land of the Stoney Nakoda, the Blackfoot, the Tsuut'ina Nation, and then Métis Treaty 3. And I've been spending a lot of time talking about indigeneity in this area. Oh, wow. The flowers we have had this year. This lot, they're going to be building something fairly soon, I think. But the flowers are just, the smell of them are lovely. If you saw some of the photos that I put on Facebook, or a couple of little shorts that I put on YouTube yesterday, look at that, 30 Celsius, and humid diet, that's the difference. Right? We're so dry. But yesterday I had a group of younger Americans. They were in their 30s, and they were really nice people. They'd all gone to college together, but 2 of them lived in Chattanooga, which is one of my favorite towns in the east there. And they really wanted to climb a mountain. And so I went back and forth, but I hadn't met them before, right? So you always have to wait and see ability-wise. And I took them in the end up Mount Yamnuska, because they weren't going to find it on their own. And Yam, I thought, was a perfect balance, because, had they not kind of been up to going super high, you still get high enough to the cliff faces and you get some of the views. But they were up to it, and so we did a scramble further, and that is, one of the ladies is saying, my inner child comes out as soon as I scramble on the rocks, and I know exactly that feeling. So it's awfully fun. This real mishmash of architecture we have through here is fun. So there's another one of those almost Victorian but Cape style houses there. Yeah, well, we're certainly not humid. There is some cloud. There's a slight chance of some rain. Incidentally, in beautiful, beautiful Jasper, nobody is allowed home at the moment whatsoever. But they're telling us they've extinguished all the fires in the town of Jasper. So that is good news. um, Also, by the way, I went and put this up and I didn't realize that Canada is playing New Zealand right now in the final of the women's rugby. So Canada actually beat Australia this morning. And the first half, Australia scored a try in like the first minute. I really like rugby, by the way, but they scored a try so quickly that I thought, oh, well, we're done. And then Canada came back. But we follow rugby a lot here because Banff is a real rugby community. We have a local team and we have tournaments that play here. So rugby is one of our games. I did play when I was back in my school days. So that is awfully fun. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. I would be very surprised if we beat New Zealand. And of course, New Zealand breathes and eats rugby, and good on them. And they're good sports people. But it's kind of exciting. We also, Canada yesterday, got a bronze medal in synchronized diving. And the Chinese who won were just incredible. I mean, literally, they looked like one person going into the water. But a little bit of me, I don't mean to be mean, a little bit of me wonders, where does synchronized diving come from as a sport? You know, most sports come out of games or things that might prove useful. And I was saying to a friend earlier, I just don't know when it might come that two of us need to dive at exactly the same time. Maybe if we were jumping with parachutes at the back of an airplane that was on fire. Um, but is Canada, is Canada doing better? Yeah, it's funny, I really cheer. Obviously, I grew up in and around Canmore, Alberta, which is a true Olympic town, like per capita, the most Olympians of any community in the world. And so it's awfully neat. But at the same time, I was a gymnast when I was young. And I think that's played out overall well in my life, right? I'm still quite active. And I think some of that plays. But I was watching some of the gymnastics last night. And I mean, these absolutely outstanding athletes. I mean, breathtaking skill. And one tiny wobble, and they're like, oh, they're going to be penalized for that. There's got to be some way of resetting these sports so it's not down to risking their lives for a 9.4, Buffalo Street here. So I will probably stop, but I may not. But we're going to head over. And the only thing that I feel a little badly about at the moment is we don't have our beautiful rainbow flag on the bridge because they had to redo some of the plumbing under here, and so they had to tear all that up. So hopefully they repaint it, just because it's a nice thing to do. I'm just gonna curve around for a second and say hi one more time. I'm gonna prop you up here because it is actually warm enough for me to take my jacket off, and I'm actually too warm. So I want to put this away because before I spend 7 hours guiding people, I'd rather not get too overheated. It seems quite reasonable, doesn't it? But let's head up. And yesterday, by the way, after climbing Yamnuska, I love this view behind. This is down Muskrat Street, that beautiful view of Cascade Mountain at the end there. So many people love that mountain. But after the tour yesterday, I took this group over to Barrier Lake, which is in Kananaskis country, which I've never taken you specifically to there because I have no reception. I've been to Kananaskis village before, and we went in the water. And so they had a good time actually getting in. The two fellows actually went right down, chest deep. But they did enjoy the feel on their legs after hiking all day. So let's come back up and over here now. As someone, all right, there's young people with their horns. They're having fun. And nice to see young people having fun. So the river is just gorgeous at the moment. This is just that mesh on the left here. This is where they've been doing some new plumbing. This is one of the places I swim, although I've already backed off from swimming here because the river is going down quite rapidly. That's because most of the snow has melted. And so you see that cement beam out there. Just about 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, that was all underwater. So it's a lot further that I have to get out now to get into the current to swim. So we've definitely had high water. But look at these views. So this is where the Bow Falls start. You won't find that in the tourist brochure. Hi, Arlen. Hi, everyone who's joining. So there is gorgeous Mount Rundle itself, which is looking, needless to say, just spectacular. And the color of the water is going to become more and more turquoise now over the next few weeks because the main source is almost entirely glacial melt. So now if I go around the other way, there is our, our driving bridge. And as lovely as that is, it all gets backed up now because, oh, you know what? I just thought of something because of the pedestrian law. Yesterday was early voting. So August 12th, we have a plebiscite or a referendum here. Hi, Chloe. A plebiscite, um, and it's on whether we keep the pedestrian street or not. Now, it's quite contentious at the moment, and it's contentious because people who live on this side of the river are really bothered by how it backs up the traffic. And after the fires in Jasper, of course, there's a strong feeling that people might have to evacuate. And now, some people, this is why you got to stay away from Twitter and everything. So many people have opinions about what happened in Jasper and how there should have been bigger fire breaks. People do PhDs in this kind of stuff and management. So I tend to have faith in them. This is the Art in Nature Walk. So this is Michael Corner is the artist here. So this is one tree, as far as I know, that was cut up. This is Gordon Wesley. I believe he is a First Nations artist. And this is Cheyenne Bearspaw, and the Bearspaw band is one of the 4 bands on Stony Nakota land. And so if you carry a canoe over water, that is a portage. Whereas this, ladies and gentlemen, is a beartage. And this one is Carter Ryan, one of the best known artists in our valley. I was also a Dene by background. But this one's kind of, this world's within. You can open that down, Hudson. It's a fun. I'm not going to stop and open it up at the moment. Oh dear. So here's these 2 little deer here. Last year I did this whole art walk with our friend Diane when she was here, and I do have that video somewhere. We should probably share it, but I'll have to come down and do the art walk here. This is the river ribbon. I really like this. This is permanent art. Of course, art is very important in our community, and I wish my friend Richard were here right now because that is a kingfisher on this one, and he and I both share a particular love for that bird there. We do see them, and that's also fireweed that's in that beautiful bit of art. So that is just lovely. But I'm going to keep my, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to turn up here because we still have lots of flowers. The art walk is wonderful. We've been doing it, I think it's only 4 years now, but it's sure a nice thing to do. But I am, actually, you know what, I'm being silly, everyone. I'm going to keep going down the art walk. I was thinking I'm meant to meet the group. We're just coming up on noon my time. No, we're not. We're about a few minutes past. And I meant to meet them at 12:30, but it's customary as a local guide to be there 15 minutes before because you'll find that groups and drivers and things get kind of nervous. So Ben, age 7, says trees are the most wonderful thing on the planet. I agree, and we live in a forest. The only concern about that is who knows when you're going to have a fire. And there's pine cone number 21. Isn't that like 2 minutes to noon now, is it? Yeah, that's interesting. Mine tells me it doesn't matter. That's right. Oh, I'm probably misreading the time, Chloe, because I don't have my glasses on. But fortunately, I can listen. Isn't that lovely? So, look at all these. So it's nice to see people really enjoying these works of art all through. And the animals aren't bothered by them at all. Now we have rules even when you put out lights for Hanukkah, Christmas, all that time of year. It has to be high enough that nobody's antlers get caught up. Yeah, so I hope you're all watching the Olympics. I thought the opening ceremonies were outstanding. I really enjoyed them. In fact, the little fox or coyote in the back of this one was given an award. This is Peg Abbott, by the way. I know Peg. They gave an award to that particular fox over there because she is outstanding in her field. But I did actually see a coyote when I went out biking today. You know what? It's a good comment thing I should tell the time about the sun. And you know what? I once in my life, it's fun to talk about. I spent several months on the smallest of the Aran Islands, That's Beth Monod. And Monods is one of the classic old Swiss family names here. But I spent several months on Inisheer, the smallest of the three Aran Islands, when I was substantially younger than I am now. And because it was such a small island, I could actually tell the time by the sun, because of course I was in a very fixed place. That was a neat thing to do because I can't do it so much here. And we're actually pretty much the same latitude. There's the bears out in the woods. See them all out there? It's just so nice to have those images, and it's your choice. Or if you go out in the woods today, you're in for a big surprise. By the way, teddy bears don't have picnics. But these are the back scratching bear dance, and that is Jason Carter as well. So he's keeping his bear theme going. In an interview, I think he said he bears his soul to the mountains. I'm not sure if that's actually true. This is lovely. So a couple of other just updates, seeing as how we're out here together. Look at this raven. What a brilliant piece of art. This is Marcia Schold. What a beautiful bit of art. But a couple of updates. So I am home still for the next couple of weeks. I think I got a few days away, maybe around the 11th or 12th of August. And then late August, of course, I'm going over to the UK again, but that's a private family trip. And then I have a tour in French Canadians, which I always look forward to. I love to do one of those each year because I just enjoy their company so much. But that one, the itinerary is going to have to change because it includes a night in Jasper. And I maybe by that time in September, we'll be back going into Jasper, maybe. But we're all just going on the assumption. So we do have some people down here. I picked up a couple of Jasperites the other day, gave them a place for the night, but they did have a connection, and they've been able to find some accommodation and some work at the Banff Center, which is great news. I have another friend coming to visit tomorrow. By the way, I know so many people want to contribute and help with Jasper. Hey, thank you, Sarah. I know so many people want to, and thank you, Sarah. Um, life's little mysteries. Sorry to bumped you off. That was obviously unintentional. I intentionally don't keep walking that way because I know that it cuts out, but that was, I was just saying, just talking very specifically. I am, thanks. It's very specifically about beautiful Jasper, that, they're having different places that we can drop things off to help them. And so I will pass that information on when the time comes. And at the moment, I want to see the government of Alberta ante up and do its responsibility. I just want to show you some horses out in the distance here. This, by the way, is the horse poop. But these are these trail rides. I don't discourage people from the trail rides, but you really want to be a real novice because it is kind of nose to tail riding. So it's not particularly exciting for those who know how to ride, but still, Magpie just came down. I'm up behind the tennis courts right now of the Banff Springs Hotel. So, but yeah, when it does come time to make any kind of donations, or if there is a family or anyone specific that I or we end up helping, I will let you know. Obviously, we all stand ready, but immediately they came out. So I'm just going to cut across here for a second because I think some more horses are going to come down. But at the moment, people are being taken care of. There were immediate appeals to things like the Canadian Red Cross, but I've just waited for the moment. We're all here to open our homes and our wallets and whatever to anyone Jasper who needs our help. And at the end of the day, Alberta is a very wealthy province to ante up for those people. Jasper is ever so slightly more fortunate than other communities because it is so globally famous that, of course, there's this real importance in the community being maintained. They've released a map of how much the town burned. There, by the way, is the Banff Springs Hotel. And if you care about the Fairmont properties, which of course used to be CP, although up in Jasper, the Fairmont was a Canadian National Hotel, the main lodge did survive the fire. So you will be happy to know that because the rumor went out that it had burned down. And I don't think that was a malicious rumor. I just think that's the news that was feeding. But it sounds like it's there. So that will keep employment going for a long time. 850 rooms in this hotel up here. So massive hotel. And of course, that's all the history here. As William Van Horn once said, if I cannot export the scenery, I will import the tourists and they will build a castle in the mountains. Oh, thanks. But yeah, it is lovely from this angle. Here's the tennis courts. Oh, golfers everywhere, and none of them to eat. So these are our gorgeous golfers, and I have to watch myself now. They have huge networks underground. Look at that. It's a shame when you drop your balls. There is a tennis ball, so I am going to put the tennis ball. Oh, maybe. Oh, I did make it over. There we go. Throw that back in. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, so I'm going to go up and look for a big American bus. I think this group is from Wisconsin. And I see a large tour coach sitting out there in front. That could be them. They're having lunch in here. They weren't staying here, but they're having lunch in here. And so I think I'll have a good old time with all of them. Up behind you see Mount Randall again. Oh, thank you. The tours, these are all fun. I've just had so much fun with these tours this summer. I'm so glad I made the choice. I was due earlier, well, about the time about my birthday was, I was due to do one in Ontario and Quebec, and it's so nice to go back down, obviously, to that part of this country. Thank you, Diane. I love, there are low numbers on it, and I've been working as, if you've been following, pretty much every day, but, 6 to 8 hours a day, and then eating at home and getting exercise, and the summer's not long here, and it's nice to enjoy it. So there we go. Listen, everyone, please make sure to hit that like button as well. Feel free to share this with anyone. I am going to let you go now because I just know I'm going to run into people who are going to have questions for me on how to do the tour. So that'll be great fun. So first of all, peace and love there, by the way, is, that is Mount Norquay in the background. I bet you anything that's their bus up there. Could be Minnesota, so I don't want to get that wrong. I'm starting to think Minnesota, and I can see a Minnesota plate. It's one of those peculiar things ever since childhood, growing up around National Park. Of course, people come from all over the continent to come here. And so I'm so used to recognizing license plates. I think they're going to be Minnesota, which makes more sense because it's even closer. And they've driven a whole loop. So I'm sure I'm going to have a great time with them. And we're here amongst the beautiful big trees in front of our historic hotel. And I have to admit, I have to thank this hotel property because they cover a lot of our taxes in our community too. So there we go. We've done about 2 kilometers together over 24 minutes. So that was nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, once again, thanks very much. Take care. Next time I'm going to do some fun jokes, but we still have heavy hearts because of Jasper. But thanks for your contributions and your friendship. And I will put up some more tours in August when I have a bit more time to hang around and share. All right. Hey, all the very best, everyone. Lots of love. Bye-bye.